Namaskar. There was an 18 years old girl called Vasavi Tomar. She comes from Lucknow. They live in the Madhyav area of Lucknow. She did her schooling in this city and then got admission in the BCA program, Bachelor's in Computer Applications, at a private university called Graphic Era Hill University in Bhimtal, which is situated in the district of Nainital. She was in second year. On 30th of July, in a room which she has to share with two other girls in the girls' hostel of this college, a girl who got admission into the nursing program, a first year girl, was made her roommate. She welcomed this new girl to the college and her hostel and her room. Soon, some senior girls of the nursing program arrived at the room, and they wanted to take this first year girl away for ragging. Now, Vasavi protested. She said that, ragging is illegal, it is banned, and you can't take her, and I will not allow you to take her. There was some altercation. The girl was taken, and then she came back. There was some altercation, and the senior nursing students apologized. They said that they didn't realize that Vasavi was a second year student, and the matter ended there. Vasavi reported it to her warden. She also mentioned it to her parents during the night when they had a conversation with her at 20 minutes past 10 on the night of 29th of July. Then she went to college during the day. She came back to her room at 2:30 p.m. But at 5:30 p.m., when the door of her room was forced open, she was found hanging from the ceiling fan. The college claims that she has committed suicide. The parents were called, and they immediately went. They reached the college around 2 a.m. in the night. The body was already in the hospital by then. A postmortem was carried out. We don't have the report yet, but the circumstantial evidence it raises suspicion. The parents say that her dupatta was hanging from the fan, but there was no stool or chair underneath it, which could have been used by her to climb, to hang herself from the fan. And they say that their daughter was not the kind who would commit suicide. In fact, the night before, she had a hearty conversation with her mother, and she was telling her mother that you should feel proud of me because I saved one girl from ragging today. So this is not the kind of girl, who you think would commit suicide. We don't know what the truth is, but the initial attempts by the college have been to cover up the incident. The warden was not allowed to meet the parents. Some teacher who teaches there was interacting with them. The director has also washed his hands off, and there was some report in the media, but soon the media also stopped giving this news. So there was an attempt to influence the media by the college, and essentially the college is not being accountable, and they just wanted the parents to go away with the dead body. The father of the girl, is associated with, not the father, the elder brother of the father of the girl, a girl's uncle, is a political worker. He is a political activist. He holds an office in a political party, which happens to be the ruling party in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand as well, and at, at Delhi. So, because of his influence, he met the commissioner police and got an FIR registered in Lucknow. Otherwise, the police station in Bhuwali, under which this college falls, had not registered the FIR till yesterday, till uh, 3 days after the death. So we hope that now the case will be transferred to Uttarakhand. There will be investigation, and the truth must come out whether it is a suicide or the girl was murdered because she had an altercation with some other girls on the issue of ragging, uh, or if there is any other angle to the story that must be exposed. And we hope the police will conduct their inquiry well and the guilty will be brought to justice. But I want to raise a larger issue. Now, these private colleges, and when I say colleges, it includes all private institutions, they have a tendency of trying to cover up such incidents whenever something like this happens, a suicide or any other kind of corruption, uh, any sexual harassment case, or any other kind of human rights violations. Workers die in factories, and then we never come to know of them. So the private institutions have a tendency of covering up incidents wherever some kind of violation has taken place, violation of either human rights or any of the any of the laws of the government. So this is something very serious. And when it comes to an educational institution, now if you compare a private institution with a government institution, the government institutions are more transparent by their very nature because they exist for the people. The private institutions exist for the owners. The main objective of most of the private institutions, we should not put all of them in one category, but most of the private institutions operating, educational institutions operating in India, are are treating education as a business. They are there to make money. And it is amazing the kind of fees that they charge from the parents. The parents of Vasavi are not very rich. They have a simple house in Mania. The father is some kind of a small businessman. He could afford the fees, therefore he sent Vasavi there. But there are a number of children we see from very humble background. Parents may be daily wage earners, maybe working as contract employees. I know a security guard in Lucknow who sends his daughter to a private engineering institution in Lucknow. There are others, for whom we raise funds because they want to study BSc nursing or B Pharma or one of those courses. They are not so competent that they have been able to make it to one of the good government colleges, because at the level of colleges it is still the government institutions whose quality is better than those of private, as compared to the school level. But the because of the fees, the children from socio-economically weaker sections are not able to make it to higher education. Therefore, um, my party, Socialist Party India, and my friends help. We raise funds to send these children to these institutions, but the fees are really high. Sometimes we are able to get concessions from the owners of these colleges, but most times concessions are not offered, and then the parents have to pay through their nose. So Parents are totally exploited by these private colleges. They charge very high fees, and there is no accountability. We are not sure about the quality of teaching. The quality of teachers at private institutions is very poor when compared with government institutions. The problem at the government institutions is there they are not responsible. They don't do their job, uh, with ethical consideration. They are not totally committed. They are only interested in their salaries. But at private institutions, in spite of getting whatever salaries they are getting, which will not be as good as government institutions, but the quality itself is poor. In a government college or a university, at least we cannot doubt the quality of teachers. It's a different matter that they are not doing their work honestly, not giving full commitment to teaching. But in private institutions, even the quality is questionable. So you are paying very high fees for a poor quality of education, and then the college is not accountable to the public. There are no students' union which can raise questions inside the campus. In the name of discipline, the students cannot form any organizations where they talk about their rights, and they will not allow the entry of press, for example, which may have access to government institutions, universities, and the body which runs the university, the governing council, or whichever body it is, has only limited representation. Only the owner will get his or her close friends to be there, so that they are not answerable to the government and to the larger public. So these private institutions are essentially closed institutions. Their decision making cannot be questioned. The decisions are taken in closed rooms. It is not as if the minutes of the meetings will be available to the general public, which we can ask under Right to Information Act from any public institution. And they, whenever there is any violation or misdeed, they will try to cover up instead of you know uh, instead of getting it investigated and and punishing the guilty, because most of the times the college management may itself be implicated in anything which goes wrong on their campus. So this unaccountability of the private institutions, the the whole atmosphere of opaqueness, where decision making is not transparent, where lot of academic corruption goes on. Children may be The students may be getting marks for examinations which have not taken place. There may not be any laboratories, still the students are being passed. So all kinds of violations take place on these private institutions, campuses of private institutions, which may not be possible on the campus of a public institution. So this idea of privatization of education itself is bad, and it must be stopped, because it is not just a question of Vasavi Tomar, one girl having committed suicide under mysterious circumstances. It is the whole atmosphere in which, the whole ecosystem in which these private institutions operate, that itself is very mysterious. It is opaque, it is unaccountable, and therefore, and they are just businesses. In the name of education, they are running businesses. They are making profit from the parents who cannot afford to pay their fees. They might have taken loans, they might have sold off their land or some property. So the idea of private education is bad, and education from the primary level to the higher education level must all be in the hands of government, and the government should run it properly, because if there is only one kind of system, then it will run well, because the children of all the influential people will be studying in these institutions, and therefore it will be their they will make sure that the quality of these institutions, whether it is a primary school or a higher education institution, the quality will be good. So we hope that the policymakers, the government, will take this seriously, and will ensure that the process of privatization of education is reversed in this country, and all educational institutions from primary to higher level are nationalized, so that they run in a transparent manner, they are accountable to the people, and any misdeeds or any violations of the laws, any human rights violations, are exposed, and the guilty are punished. Thank you.